You are watching the RickVanMan channel, and in today's video, Rick is out and about.
Well, greetings and salutations. This is Rick. I hope you're having a great day. It's a beautiful day, so I thought I would take a little jaunt out on the road, and I'm not sure where I'm going yet. I've got a few places in mind I wouldn't mind checking out, but it is a Sunday, so it might be a little bit busy. We're sort of getting on quite a lot into spring now. Lots and lots of leaves on the trees. There's still a few trees around that are still a little bit still in winter mode, like these ones here. They got the buds out, but they're not quite producing leaves yet. So we've still got another month or two before we've got that proper summery feeling. But it's just a beautiful time of year. You've got those lovely sort of lush yellowy greens everywhere. There's all this white stuff on the sides of the roads, the like hedge parsley and what's the other stuff, the cotton wool type stuff. I think that's due out any time now, so it won't be long before I'm heading off out with my camera to get some stock footage, which is what I like to do when the sun is shining and everything's looking all summery. Now, Rick World's been a little bit interesting in so much as I've been incredibly busy. I've literally just finished, or 2 days ago, just finished putting up a new fence in the back garden, and oh boy, that was hard work. I bought a kind of like a core drill thing that is like a manual, it's called an auger, and it's basically this thing that drills holes in the ground so you can put fence posts in them. And it did a cracking job. I mean, it made life so much more easy to drill out or to dig out these fence post holes. But right where I needed to put one of the fence posts, I went down about a foot, and then there was just this enormous, great big slab of concrete. And I spent about 2 hours trying to break it up and trying to sort of get through it, but I couldn't do it in the end. So I had to sort of locate the fence post offset. So then I had to sort of get all these different size fence panels in order to fit. But it worked in the end, and it looks really good. It's a PVC fence, so I should never have to paint it, and I hopefully should never have to replace it. It's kind of what they call a lifetime fence. And my neighbour got one last year, and so one side of my garden had this style of fence, and I really liked it, and I thought that's a really, really good idea. So this year I managed to sort of rip down the wooden sort of falling apart fence that I had, and I fitted this new plastic fence, and hopefully I should never ever have to worry about a new fence again. And the other thing is, now the fences have been done in the garden, got a new shed ordered. Now originally I was going to build a shed from scratch, and I had all sorts of designs in my mind about what I could do, and in the end, when I priced everything up, it actually worked out considerably cheaper just to buy an off-the-shelf shed. So that's what I've done, and I've gone for a shed this time that goes the entire width of the bottom of my back garden. So hopefully that's going to be arriving in the next sort of about 2 weeks, I think. So I've got my work cut out, because I've got to empty my old shed and rip it all down, and obviously got to install the new one. So fun and games ahead. I've also done some upgrades on the van. I was thinking about getting a newer van and doing another build, but I've decided I'm going to keep hold of this van and stay with it probably for the next quite a few years. So I thought I'm going to do a few little upgrades, and I'll show you those when I've stopped. Oh, cows on the road up ahead. Looks like they're going to be crossing as well. Come on. Don't all step out in front of me, will you? Yeah, I thought you were going to do that. They're little calves by the looks of it. Ooh. These trees are very red. They almost look autumnal. I wonder what that's all about. Yeah, when we were coming back from the last camping trip to Eastnor Castle, I was actually listening to an audio version of The Secret, and I listened to it, or I watched The Secret many years ago, and it's all about the law of attraction and sort of how to improve your life. It's kind of a self-improvement thing. And a number of years ago, I was really into listening to sort of self-motivational stuff, and there's a lot of amazing material out there that really gets you sort of motivated to do stuff. And yeah, I was having a listen to The Secret again. I particularly liked The Secret, although some will argue that it's just it could have been made a lot better than it was, because it was very, very money orientated. But I still find it very, very motivational to listen to, and it's nice to just listen to motivational stuff every now and again, because it gets you fired up, gets you inspired, and that's always a good place to be, because if you're inspired, you tend to do things, and normally they're positive things that sort of bring about changes to your life and stuff. And I must admit, I always took this whole law of attraction thing and I just kind of ran with it. I didn't know whether it was true or not, but I just kind of assumed it was and ran with it, and regardless of whether it was or not, because it always put my mind in the place I wanted it to be. And yeah, and to be honest, I think I've done quite well by it. And it's mostly about being switched on to noticing opportunities when they present themselves. That's pretty much what the message of the whole secret is to, you got to hold it in your mind, whatever it is you want. You got to figure out what you want out of life to start with, and then you kind of got to hold that image in your mind, and you just kind of you make it a practice. You do it often, and when you're doing that, what happens is you start to notice certain little nudges, certain little twists and turns on the road of life that can start leaning you towards that sort of image that you're holding in your mind. And that's pretty much the idea about sort of how it works, or the theory of how it works. God, this is a narrow road, isn't it? I don't think I've been here before. Oh, that's good. He's pulled over. He's letting me over. Actually, I've got right of way, because that means he's got to come out onto my side of the road if he wants to drive down here. Oh, he's parking anyway, I think. So I'll thank him anyway. I have no idea where we are. I'm kind of a little bit... I wouldn't say I'm lost, I just don't know where we are. Sort of intentionally. I like going on these little mystery tours where I just don't... I just let the road sort of unfold before me, and, Let's go to Hampstead Marshall, because I've never been there before. Never even heard of it. I'm always on the hunt for new places where I can just kind of pull over and have a cup of tea. So if you've got any suggestions kind of around the area where I live, do feel free to let me know. That's one of the things, you see these beautiful country scenes and everything, but it's normally on a road that doesn't have anywhere you can pull over, so all you can do is just keep going. because some of these roads, or a lot of these roads, are so thin, you can't stop on them because you cause a blockage of the road. So this is all very lovely, woodlandy. You got a little, is that a river? Yeah, it's just a little woodland river. Oh yeah, there's some real filmy bits there. This is lovely. Bluebells are out. In that case, could end up at Savernake at this rate and go and have a look at the bluebells. Westwood Hay or Inkpen Common? Alright, looks like we're heading back for Inkpen Common. Yeah, not one of them thanked me. Noticed that a lot actually lately. When you pull over for someone, they have a tendency to just completely ignore you. Used to be the decent thing is to just give them a little nod or a little thumbs up or a little wave, just to thank them. But more and more people are just not doing that anymore. It's quite sad really. I don't know whether it's just ignorance or what, but it's just kind of right, so this guy is clearly stopped for me, so a nice big thank you. Yeah, and he's acknowledged. See, that's how it's supposed to be done. I don't know what the reason is behind lack of courtesy on the roads. Maybe it's a regional thing. Maybe it happens more up north than it does down south or whatever, but I've noticed living here sort of down in the southwest, yeah, there's a lot more sort of, unfriendliness, which is sad. It only goes to reinforce my my want to stay out of people's way. That sounds really sad, doesn't it? We were having this conversation the other day actually about what Austin likes to call numpties. There are people out there who you see. I suppose in a way it makes you judgmental of them, but you see the way people act and behave and speak, and it just, for me, it just reinforces why I've chosen to live the life of practically of a hermit, and it's because of that there are just so many numpties around. I'm very, very, very choosy nowadays about the people I like to hang out with and spend time with. So, a beautiful little cottage there. Yeah, I'm just very, very fortunate that I've always been okay with my own company, and quite often I prefer my own company to, I mean, it's nice to have visitors and it's nice to sort of hang out with people and stuff, but for the majority of time, I'm more than happy sort of just doing my own thing, in my own little world, and not getting too involved with the world outside, as it were. And I'm sure, there's probably some psychological name for that sort of thing, and it's probably not seen as a good thing and everything, but it suits me just fine. Why is everybody driving so fast? Or is it me just driving slow? It's one of the things about owning a van is you tend to just plod along everywhere. You don't really sort of, want to put the hammer down and just go crazy. There's another car I can see in the distance there. I bet he comes tanking round. Oh, he's waiting for me. Fair play. Yeah, no acknowledgement whatsoever. Oops, I'll back up for him a little bit. Yeah, there you go. There it is. There's the wave. I might have to start a thing. I'll put a camera right on the front of the windscreen here, and then we'll see how many waves we get and how many ignores we get. That could be an interesting little hobby. Right, nothing behind me. Where am I going? Hungerford's that way. I can't see a thing. Oh my goodness, how am I going to get... This hedgerow is... oh dear. Right, nothing behind. I'm going to go straight on. There we go. Alright, down to a single track road here. I have no idea where we are. But we're not far from Hungerford. That's all I can tell you at the moment. I think, actually, I might see if I can aim for Savernake and maybe go make a cup of tea there. This is beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. The church. These little cottages. Yeah, I think I've got a friend of mine coming down for next week, and I think after that, oh, we might even, oh, look at that beautiful field over there, full of yellow flowers, lovely. Bunch of kids doing their D of E by the looks of it. Yeah, I think another couple of weeks and all of this colour and everything is going to be really in full swing. I think what I'll do is I'll probably, like I say, I've got my mate visiting next week, and I think the week after I might even throw the camera in the van and head out and see whether I can start getting some footage, because that's what I like to do. That's my hobby, is get some footage. And for anyone interested in vans and who's got the self-builds, I've just managed to get myself some proper business insurance on a self-build motor caravan. I didn't think it was possible, but I found a company that does it now, because I realised, or it was suggested to me a little while ago, that the standard policy, the garden variety self-build policy, the insurance policy that I had, may not have fully covered me for use when I was going out and getting footage for my videos and things. So I managed to find a company that would do it, and so I've now fully covered for business on the van, even though the fact it's a self-built motor caravan. So I was really pleased about that. They even asked me, because I told them I make YouTube videos, and the first question they asked me, they went away, did their thing that they had to do, and they rang me back and they said, right, the first question is, do you associate or hang out with any of the famous YouTube people? And I was like, no. And they said, that's fine then, yeah, we're happy to insure you. Alright, we're in Shalbourne. Ah, it's nice, got a smile and a wave there, look, see? Lack of numpties out here. I can't go around thinking like that. It's very negative. Can't think like that. Oh wow, look at these beautiful cottages again. Thatches everywhere. Oh no, it's not. I thought this was a place that I may have ended up in when I got lost. I actually went on a trip to Savernake Forest once, years ago, with an old girlfriend, and oops, we ended up walking for hours and hours, and we actually got lost, and it was a little bit worrying when there was this particularly notable archway of trees, and there was this dead rabbit on the side of the path, and we kind of went through this archway of trees and kind of wandered like in the direction of where we thought we'd park the car, and about 2 hours later we literally came back to this archway of trees with a dead rabbit next on the side of the path, and that was when we realised we were completely lost. And it was just uncanny, because we thought we were walking in one direction, and you know, there were slight adjustments on the path, and for some reason, I don't know how or why, but it ended up taking us in a full circle. It was bizarre. So in the end, we knew on our journey that we'd passed this road. So what we did was we basically headed for the same road, and then when we hit the road, we just headed in one direction and just kept walking until we hit civilization. And then I phoned up a friend of mine to come and pick us up. We got a phone box. This was before the days of mobile phones, and we got in a phone box and it said where we were, and a friend of mine, he came out and picked us up in his car. So it was a good lesson to learn. Something very, very wary of these days. If I go into the forest, especially if I'm off the beaten track a bit, I always make a point of noting the landmarks and noting, really properly spending time noting the lay of the land. Although of course it's not so bad now, because if you've got a mobile phone with you, you can generally navigate your way back. But I don't like the idea of relying on the technology. You've only got to be in a situation if your battery fails or something, you're scuppered. But I tend not to go on those kinds of expeditions so much these days. So we'll finish it off now as a nice little sit somewhere, maybe sunny in the forest somewhere. That would be nice if I can find a place, and maybe chill out with a cup of tea, maybe have a little read. But I'll show you some of the mods that I've done on the van as well. Hello, what's that in front of me? It's a hare or a rabbit. Whoa, there's a hare. God, nearly hit him. That was close. What on earth possesses animals to leap out in front of vehicles? Unsuitable for HGVs. That sounds like fun. Let's go there. Look at this pastoral scenery in front of me, like the horses and the yellow buttercups everywhere, and the village church hall behind. Sorry, the church beyond, or the church steeple. The canal is right there. I don't think I've been down this. I don't think this is the road I think it is. I don't recall the road being this close to the canal. You can see it just there. Hopefully, it's just beyond the hedge. Literally, just down the other side of the hedge. That's the canal. A bit of activity. Yeah, there is a bridge and the locks. No, this is the place. And am I going to get parked? This is the question. Here's the parking. Come on, I want a parking space. Oh, there's one there. Look. I'll park next to this van. Or better still, I'll park next to this van. Let's go make a cup of tea. Right, there we go. That's a nice little view, isn't it? That's what I'm going to look at while I have my cup of tea, which is cooking right now. While I'm waiting for the kettle to boil, I'll show you this new installation. If you look here, you'll see there's now a solar panel on the roof. And that is connected to a little charge controller, which I've rigged in up here, just to make life easy. Now that flashing basically means the batteries are now fully charged, which is brilliant. But this is a controller designed to charge two batteries. I've got the main leisure battery, and then that goes off to the engine battery as well. So it charges both batteries. And then it also goes off to a meter here, and it tells me everything that's happening. So right now I've got 14.1 volts on my leisure battery and 14.3 volts on my main engine battery. The panel is producing 21.4 volts, which obviously the converter is converting, which is really good. Right, there's a train. I can't see it. There we go. I've never seen these locked in action before. So let's have a look. So obviously, well, I presume the canal boat's going to come in, and then they'll shut these ones, and then the canal boat, well, they'll open those ones slowly, and then the canal boat will drop down, and then it'll be able to go off to the lower level bit of the canal, which is over here. So cool. But these things will no doubt take a bit of time, because life on the whole canal boat world is just very kind of slow and chilled, which is good. Well, I'm thinking of it, I'm also trying out, oops, if I can turn this, I can show you in here. I don't know if you can see on the top of the GoPro there's a bit of fluff. I've actually stuffed a little bit of fur where the microphone is, so I'm hoping that is going to cover over the microphone area, and with any luck you shouldn't get any wind noise when I go outside. Right, there's one other upgrade I want to show you. It involves the passenger chair. Now, this is something I've wanted to do ever since I converted this van, but there was a puzzle that I needed to solve in order to do it. I tried to solve it before and then failed, and I kind of gave up. But since I've decided that I'm going to be keeping the van for a lot longer, I decided to attempt this puzzle again, and I managed to solve it, and I'll tell you what it was in a minute. So, one passenger seat, watch this. Oops, let's just move the bag. There we go. It swivels. I now have I guess that'll be a fourth seat. This is like a 3-seater sofa here. I've now got a passenger seat that also doubles up as a chair. I'm really pleased about that. Basically, there's a pre-tensioner on the seatbelt plug-in thing, and the pre-tensioner wire plugs into this little block, and then it goes off to your dashboard. If you unplug it, because you can't have the seatbelt pre-tensioner working if you want a swivel seat. And I know I've spoken to other people who've had the same problem. Now, if you unplug the seatbelt pre-tensioner, you end up with a service light on your dashboard of your van, and you have to sort of, the only way to get the light out is to plug the pre-tensioner back in again. But I did loads and loads of research, and I realised that a 3.9 ohm resistor plugged in to the little block where the pre-tensioner plugs in fools the computer into thinking it's connected to the pre-tensioner, and you don't get the light on your dashboard. Looks like they're going to operate the lock. Let's go and have a look, see how it's all working. There we go. So you just crack it open a little bit with that little windy thing, and then it all starts to, you can see the currents going on here, starting to empty out. You can see the boat starting to go down in the water. Pretty quick actually. So here we are, trying out the new chair for the very first time, well, properly for the first time, you know, with a cup of tea, and it's really comfortable, and it's great. I can see sort of everywhere. I can see that way, I can see this way, I can see behind me, and I've got the doors open at the back and I can see that way as well. And I'm just so glad I finally managed to get a swivel chair. Obviously there's no point in doing a swivel chair on the driver's seat because I've got the bathroom in the way. But this is just brilliant. I'm so pleased, and it just kind of opens up the whole van. The van just feels a lot bigger now, and I'm hoping it's going to be handy if I need to like store anything here. It's not going to be so awkward to get to my call box if I've got it here. Although that's another thing. I just acquired a new call box. I just realised that the technology has moved on, and you can now buy 3-way call boxes. And so I tracked down a cool box because I always said I would get a portable fridge, or like it's not quite a fridge, but it's like an effective cool box that actually works and will make ice cubes. But I always said I would get one if ever I could find one that runs on those little aerosol cans of gas, and I found one, and it's a Dometic make. The problem is it's quite square, it's a little bit bulky. I was hoping I'd be able to sort of fit it on the driver's seat here, and because it would sit out of the way quite nicely, but unfortunately it's not going to work. But because it's gas, you're going to need to leave it outside anyway. The thing is, it also runs on 12 volts, but it's still quite a heavy draw. That's the one thing that put me off with 3-way fridges was, I mean, yes, they do work on 12 volts, but they really put your 12 volt battery, you know, under load, and they're really quite thirsty. But with the gas alternative, it's absolutely brilliant, and I'm really looking forward to going away next time and using this thing. But like I say, the problem is with it being gas, you can't leave it indoors without the door being open. So if it's rainy or something, I'm going to have to physically leave it outside. Now I have bought a little kind of shower tent type thing if I don't want to put the awning up, so I can have a little shower tent outside, which will be hopefully good, and I can put the fridge in that, and that will protect it, and then it can run on its gas, hopefully, because you've got little vents at the top and everything. But I don't know, I'll suss it all out when I go away camping next, which hopefully will be quite soon. So anyway, I think that's it from me. I'm just going to sit here, finish off my coffee, and then I'm going to just take a nice slow meander on home and chill out for the rest of the day. I'm still aching like crazy from putting that fence up, so I've just taken today and yesterday just to kind of relax a little bit and let my muscles kind of recover. But I'm sort of thinking tomorrow I might wake up sort of really aching again. I don't know if it's the same for everyone, but whenever I do any kind of major work that makes me ache like crazy, it's normally 3 days afterwards when I really get the painful aches. So I'm sort of half expecting that tomorrow, so I'll have the paracetamol standing by. Hopefully I won't need it, but we'll see. But there we go. Anyway, so that's Rick World for now. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care.